All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go from Daytona. Max Gunther and Adam Barker have the front row. Rudolph Gunther and Yannick Gunther on the second row. Simon Zierk, Avery Walker have the third row. Andrew Lau, Nicole, that's what she said. Kriesel back in the car in the fourth row. Harry Volsmeer will not be racing, which will put Mike Marshall and Matthew Johnston on the fifth row. All the drivers gritting up on the back straightaway, getting ready to go. And as I mentioned, we are expecting some degree of fog all morning long and rain intermittently. The track is still wet from the earlier rain. Everybody hitting the track on wet tires. As the Porsche pace car begins rolling, ready to go here at Daytona. Don't forget, 7:30 Eastern tonight, BRR Cup Series is back. The roar of these engines getting ready to go green here at Daytona. They have the high-speed NASCAR portion of the track, but they have that tight, tricky infield portion, making things really exciting. And as we've seen here in the past, this is one of the most popular road courses out there. Every one of these drivers has done a 24 hours here at least once. This is where they all have the most experience. This is where the closest racing and sometimes the biggest problems occur. Pace car is in. Green flag is in the air. They are down and away at Daytona. And you see the spray as they head toward turn one. Matthew Johnston already picking up several spots up into 8th. Everybody makes it through turn one, through the little kink there into the International Horseshoe. Rudolph Gunther side by side with Adam Barker. Rudolph a little wide into the grass. Adam holds on to second. Yannick slips by to take third. Max Gunther trying to put some breathing room between him and Barker. And Avery Walker is back in the car. It's been a while since we've seen Avery. Back in his Mercedes. Will that Merc power help him on these big straights as here comes Max Gunther? Avery's already moved up to 5th. Matthew Johnston, as we mentioned, already up 3 spots into 8th. Mike Marshall into 9th. Nicole Kriesel had some trouble just past turn 1. She is falling a bit behind. Max Gunther leads them around on lap 1. Adam Barker in 2nd. Yannick Gunther in 3rd. Rudolph in 4th. And Avery Walker in 5th. And as they come back toward the start-finish line, let's take a look in car with Simon. You see he's far enough back the spray is not bothering him. See if we can dial up Avery's camera. Now off into turn 1, he managed to get clear of the spray. Barker has a problem in turn 1. And now the top 3 are all Gunther, Max, Yannick, and Rudolph. Rudolph, 1, 2, 3. Let's see what happened with Adam. There's Adam in the Audi. Just a little too deep, a little tap of the brakes, and he goes around. And Matthew Johnston and Rudolph Gunther have both had problems. There's Matthew Johnston's avoiding the Adam Barker getting rolling. Then moments after moving up into the top three, we saw through the International Horseshoe, Rudolph had problems. Last time, really got out of shape that time, quickly recovers, but loses a ton of track position. Max Gunther still in the lead, Yannick still in second. Yannick about 2.5 seconds back. Avery Walker is up to third in the Mercedes. Good morning, Richie Joplin. How are you, buddy? Simon Zierich now to fourth. Rudolph Gunther in fifth. Rudolph trying to duck low as they head off into turn one. Simon's a bit wide. Rudolph able to capitalize, shoots to the bottom, back up into fourth. Max Gunther has the fastest lap so far, 1:56.06. Several seconds off the pace of a dry track. But still, you got to give him credit. That is a fast lap for being in the rain. All this battling is Andrew Loud now in sixth, but Adam Barker, after his problem, back in seventh and closing in on the leaders. Whoa, Adam tried to make a move to the outside of Lau there, but didn't work and ended up losing ground. As Rudolph Gunther trying to move his way back into the top three, tried to make a pass on Avery. Rudolph dropping out of the slipstream here down the straightaway toward the bus stop. Oh, that Porsche we heard last week at Fuji handles extraordinarily well in the wet. And it kind of shows because the top two are Porsches, and all three Porsches in the field currently in the top five. Matthew Johnston moved up into eighth very quickly on, but has not gained a whole lot since that first lap. As Nicole, that's what she said, Creasel has had a problem back behind. There's Nicole coming through the bus stop. Just a little too much power. Looked like there was a puddle there. Gets it wound up, but does get it rolling once again. A rough start for Nicole this morning. Max Gunther trying to extend that lead over Yannick now, 3.5 seconds, but Yannick just set the fastest lap, only 1/10 of a second faster than his brother, and Rudolph Gunther has fought his way back to third. But the Mercedes of Avery Walker will have an advantage on the straightaways and the high-speed sections of this track, having that big power advantage. Avery now looking to the high side to get back onto the podium. Down the front straightaway, and Mercedes power pays off. Into turn one, though, Rudolph back to the inside, and Avery's around. The Mercedes of Avery Walker goes around, and he loses all the track position. Rudolph now back up into third, but look who's closing in. Rudolph off track, Adam Barker to third. Adam Barker, who started in second, just moved back up into a podium spot. Simon Zierk now to fourth, and Rudolph back in fifth. Can he fight his way back to the podium one more time? Andrew Lau in sixth. Matthew Johnston has now moved up into seventh, with Avery back to eighth. Mike Marshall currently running in ninth. Nicole Kriesel out of race one. Now let's take a look at those incidents a moment ago. There's Avery on the high side as they head off into one. Look like just a tad too much brake. Not the first time we have seen that today. And then moments later, Rudolph Gunther goes off track in the International Horseshoe, losing several spots. And Mike Marshall having some problems here. Through the kink, just goes a bit wide, crosses over. Gets that Ford gathered up, but man, we saw this last week at Fuji. That Ford has zero grip in the rain, and there he goes, headed out to the NASCAR turn two, loses it again. Halfway through race one, the track showing no signs of drying. Looking on board with our leader, Max Gunther. Does not look like any rain is coming at the moment. Still a bit foggy out on track. And still quite a few puddles out there to be wary of, especially through and out of the bus stop. And Avery Walker has had a problem. There's Avery in the Mercedes. Headed out to the banking. The back end just steps out on him. This is the first time we've seen the Mercedes in the rain, and it appears to be struggling a bit through the turns. Simon Zierk has unexpectedly gone to pit road as Adam Barker has just set the fastest lap of the morning in third. Rudolph Gunther about 5.5 seconds back and forth. Not looking good for the Gunther podium again. Max Gunther's lead now 6.1 seconds over brother Yannick. Adam Barker in third, 5.25 seconds back and closing in. Rudolph back and forth. Lau in fifth, closing in on Rudolph. Matthew Johnston still holding on to sixth, his first NSS race. Will he be able to get to the podium? Or get to the top five, rather? Avery Walker in seventh. The Mercedes giving him a little trouble here this morning. But great to see Avery back out on track. It has been a while. Adam Barker in third, now just 5 seconds behind Yannick, but with 6 minutes to go, can he close that gap? Simon Zierk is back out on track, currently runs in 8th place. He is still on wet tires. I think he just hit pit road for a repair. Andrew Lau and Matthew Johnson both battling it out. That is the battle for 5th and 6th, and these two are pushing each other to the extreme. Matthew getting a little bit of the grass there as they head off into the International Horseshoe. Let's take a look at Matthew's camera in the car, as it appears the spray is starting to let up the track, maybe drying in a few places. Definitely not drying on the banking, though. These guys still going at it and throwing spray. As they head off into the bus stop. And Johnston really put, a little bit of a bobble out of Lau just ahead. Maybe the opportunity Johnston needed to move into the top 5. He's got the run on the high side. The Mercedes does have that power advantage. Matt Johnston, though, pulls it off, moves into the top 5. Simon Zierke going back to pit road, now on his way back, and it looked like Nicole may have had a connection issue earlier. She is rolling back out on track. Now remember, going into race 2, the top 7 will invert. As of right now, 7th place is Avery Walker. Max Gunther, though, a 7-second lead with 3 minutes to go. The track temps very cool this morning due to the rain. Track temperature currently 75. It has been about that all morning long. However, if we get into night racing here with the fog and the wet track, well, things make it really exciting in race 2. Yannick still in second, but Adam Barker continuing to close the gap, now 3.8 seconds back. Rudolph Gunther holds on to fourth, Lau in fifth, about 5 seconds back. Matthew Johnston has slipped back into sixth place. Looks like he went off track briefly. There was Johnston in fifth, coming into the second horseshoe. The back end of that Corvette slides wide into the grass. Manages to get it rolling once again, but does lose a position, and Andrew Lau has had a problem. Andrew Lau coming into the International Horseshoe just misses the braking point and goes wide. Gets her rolling again. The Mercedes definitely does not want to turn and brake in the rain. Meanwhile, Max Gunther headed back toward the start-finish line. Should see the white flag this time. I don't know if we can see Barney to tell if he's getting the white flag, though. White flag is in the air one more time around. Max talked about this last week. That Porsche is squirrely on dry track, but man, you put rain tires on it and it is fast. Kind of counterintuitive, but it does seem to work. Yannick in second. Adam Barker in the Audi in third and 1.4 seconds back. Adam chopping away at the gap to Yannick. The Audi definitely seems to have the grip advantage in the rain, much like the Porsche just ahead. The Porsche does have a big disadvantage on the long straightaways. Everything is faster on the straights. Will that give the Audi enough to make the pass? As Max Gunther heads into the bus stop all alone for the final time. Max Gunther heads through NASCAR 3 and 4 back toward the start-finish line. Qualified it on the pole and has checked out all morning long. He's got a 10-second lead as he comes to the checker. Max Gunther will win race number 1 at Daytona. Yannick Gunther comes home in second. Adam a very close third. And a little celebration there past the entrance to turn 1. Let's talk to our top 3, starting with Adam Barker. Adam, that car has been fast in the dry, but it seems like you found something for it in the rain.
Yeah, it was a really good race. Just one little mistake coming into turn 1, turned the car around. So I had a lot of fighting to do. Luckily, the guys ahead made it easy for me. My fighting between themselves. And I think if I'd had one more lap, I'd have got Yannick as well for second. But it's unfortunate.
That last 3 laps, you were really reeling in Yannick. Did the car just find more grip, or were you just able to push it further than you had seen all morning?
I don't think it was obviously getting a little bit drier. I don't think I was pushing the car any harder. I think Yannick was having more issues. He was dropping back to me.
Well, everything went in your favor. You come in third. Good luck in race 2.
Thank you very much.
Yannick Gunther coming home in second place. Yannick, you guys told us last week that in the rain, those Porsches really are fast, and it proved true yet again.
Yeah, in the rain, we really have the opportunity to, put the small Porsche around the corners quicker than anybody else.
It definitely seems to work in your favor, but I have to say, straightaway speed almost bit you in the last couple laps.
Yeah, every other car is much faster on the straightaway, and Adam got very, very close, but luckily I could hold on and, get second place.
Well, it was a great second place finish. Almost looked like early on it was going to be a Gunther 1, 2, 3, but man, it's still a great morning for Team Gunther.
Yeah, it was. It was a lot of fun.
Well, good luck in race 2. You got some traffic to come through.
Thank you, Doug. Thank you.
Yannick comes home in second, and Max Gunther pulls off the win. Max, it appears you are the rain master.
Yeah, I love rain.
Well, that makes one of us. It definitely played into your hand. Those Porsches, like you said last week, extremely good in the rain, which is just so odd that they're so twitchy and hard to handle in the dry, but they get in the rain, they work perfectly.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's the motor in the back, like the engine. But yeah, it's amazing to drive in the rain.
We did see
But
a lot of other cars with the back end going out. I think that motor in the back thing may be accurate.
I don't know actually. But I think as soon as it dries out, the Mercedes and the BMW, they just gonna overtake us on the oval. So just have to put a lot of room between me and anyone else in the second race, and also have to get through the field.
And I have to wonder, are your fingers crossed that this track gets a hair more rain? Obviously, the fog going to play a factor as we go into the nighttime.
Yeah, I'm still hoping for rain, but I don't think so. The weather forecast doesn't say that much rain. It's just a little bit. But let's see how long it takes to dry out, actually.
Well, man, good luck. You've been dominant so far this season in the rain, and man, so far, so good.
Thank you, Doug. Thank you.
Well, Max Gunther wins race number 1. Now the top 7 will invert, putting Max starting in 7th place. And the track likely to dry out some, but man, you have to wonder. It rained off and on throughout race 1. There is a low chance of more rain in race 2. Whoa! Matthew Johnston trying to push it through that hairpin. That hairpin does have a dip in it, and water does collect there. We'll see as Max Gunther heads toward the kink, and yeah, there is a little bit of puddling there in the inside of the kink. You saw him take that corner just a bit wide. Could play a huge factor here this morning. Andrew Lau out on track. The fog actually getting thicker even though the rain is letting up. Mike Marshall, the lone Ford, out on track, and that Ford has had zero rear grip in the rain the last 2 weeks. You know that what they say, Ford's gonna Ford. Just a few seconds before they grid back up to go at it in race 2. Warm-up is done. Now to race 2 with the top 7 inverted. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Race number 2. Avery Walker and Matthew Johnston on the front row. Andrew Lau, Rudolph Gunther on the second row. Adam Barker, Yannick Gunther on the third row. Max Gunther starting at 7th after winning race 1 next to Mike Marshall in 8th. Simon Zierk and Nicole That's What She Said Kriesel round out the field. Harry Volsmeer not taking to the grid this morning. I was surprised to hear Harry not taking to the track. He is usually very good here at Daytona and was 3rd fastest in practice. And an unexpected turn of events, Adam Barker is starting from pit road. Adam started finished third rather in race 1. A bit of a shock to see him starting from pit road here in race 2. And just for a little bit of fun this morning, when the green flag drops, we'll dial up the speed cam and watch part of lap 1 from the ground. We'll see just how fast these cars are going. All right, here we go. Porsche pace car onto pit road from the speed cam. Here they come. Green flag is in the air. Race number 2 at Daytona underway. Still very wet out on the track. Adam Barker has left pit. Oh! Matthew Johnston had some problems in the early going. Andrew Lau has had a problem. Adam Barker starting from pit road. Strategy move may play out to be good. Rudolph Gunther in second as the lights come up and the sun goes down. See if we can get a look at Matthew Johnston. He did hit the wall. Looks like minimal damage to that Corvette. Adam Barker on the high side comes past Nicole. That's What She Said Kriesel to take 8th. Nicole currently in 9th. Andrew Lau way behind in 10th. And Avery Walker is out front. If the track dries out, that Mercedes will have a huge advantage. but everybody started race 2 on wet tires. And worth noting, the Gunthers are 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Rudolph, Max, and Yannick, but it looks like Max is going to try and get around his dad as Matthew Johnston heads to pit road for repairs. Oh, Rudolph goes wide out of 1. Mike Marshall has a problem, out of 1 as well. Let's take a look at some of the early incidents here at Daytona. There's the battle into turn 1. Andrew Lau gets on the power, back in, stepping out. That's where the Porsches had the advantage. Matthew Johnston in 2nd place, coming out of turn 1 and onto the power, just headlong into the wall. Then the battle between Rudolph and Max. Rudolph holds Max off, but the back end steps out wide. He gets her gathered up, but not before losing some ground. And Mike Marshall in the... Oh, contact between Marshall and Barker. Mike goes way off track. Avery Walker still in the lead, but Max is right on his bumper. And Max Gunther quickly taking the lead, but last time by, Yannick Gunther had the fastest lap. At the moment, the Porsches are almost 2 seconds a lap faster than the Mercedes. Simon Zierk and Matthew Johnston have both had problems. Rudolph Gunther has had a problem. The rain has stopped and the lights are piercing the fog rather well, but race 2 has just heated up dramatically. Let's take a look. Simon Zierk headed into turn 1 in the BMW on the power, the back end stepping out. Several drivers have been caught there this morning. Matthew Johnston coming through the bus stop. Oh, I think he got that puddle on corner exit and it just slams him into the wall. Rudolph Gunther coming through the coming through the international horseshoe, just slips it out into the grass. Matthew Johnston and Mike Marshall on pit road. Looks like Mike is on his way back out. There he is coming out of pit road. Avery Walker currently sits in 2nd, but is surrounded by the Porsches of Team Gunther with Max out front. Yannick in. Oh! Yannick misses his braking point, gets into Walker, and both of them have problems. And Adam Barker, who started from pit road, is now in 2nd. We wondered about that strategy early on. It paid off. take another look at this incident between Avery and Yannick. And, oh, Yannick just way overshot his braking point. Avery lost his rear wing. Let's see if Yannick got... Oh, Yannick lost his entire front bumper. Heavy damage to both cars. A lot of excitement in the early going of race 2, and definitely seeing the strategy of Adam Barker paying off. Adam Woods to start the race 2 in 5th place. Started from pit road and has made it, so ended up coming off pit road in 10th. Oh, Adam's around. Oh, Mike Marshall! And Adam Barker appears to have had a problem. Now, his connection has resolved, but wow. Avery Walker is on pit road. Rudolph Gunther and Yannick Gunther still limping their cars around. Team Gunther 1, 2, 3 at the moment. Here's that incident with Adam Barker as he comes through turn 1. The back end just slides out as he gets moving. Then the Ford of Mike Marshall drifting it in there. Heavy damage, it looks like, to the back of the Audi. And Andrew Lau has had a problem. Andrew Lau coming through turn 1. And another instance of that back end just stepping out. He does a 360 though and keeps her rolling. Hey, good morning, Manny. Thank you, buddy. Early chaos has flipped this whole race upside down, and very few cars undamaged at the moment. Max Gunther has the lead. Yannick in second. Rudolph in third. Team Gunther 1, 2, 3. Adam Barker back in fourth, trying to make the move back toward the front. His strategy worked out perfectly in the early going here. Started from pit road and within just a few laps was in second place until that problem in turn 1. Simon Ziert currently holding on to 5th. Andrew Lau, despite multiple problems, in 6th. Lau is taking turn 1 very wide. Avery Walker currently holds on to 7. Nicole, that's what she said. Creasel up to 8. Mike Marshall in 9th. Matthew Johnston in 10th. And it looks like we have seen this the last 2 weeks in the rain. That Ford just cannot put down its very meager amount of power. Those rear tires spin and he bobbles in a big way. Ford doing Ford things. And there you go. Corvette just pulls out and passes. Hey, good morning, Kevin. And don't forget to tune in tonight, 7:30 Eastern. BRR Cup Series is back. 9 Eastern tomorrow night. Jones BS Racing is back, and we are still looking for a Tuesday night broadcast. Also, we will have announcements about Nowski's upcoming summer season very soon. Rudolph Gunther has had a problem back behind. Rudolph had some problems earlier on, and we saw this in race 1. He just gets too deep into the International Horseshoe. Drifts it through the grass, gets her going again, but loses a position. Oh, that's all right, Kevin. I may still be asleep. I'm not sure. Max Gunther and Yannick Gunther still lead Team Gunther, but Adam Barker, we saw the charge late in race 1 that Audi was able to put on. Adam Barker in third, 4.2 seconds back from Yannick. Rudolph Gunther currently sitting in 4th, trying to close back in and make it a Gunther 1, 2, 3. Simon Zierk in 5th. He is almost 22 seconds behind Rudolph, but trying to close the gap quickly. And Mike Marshall has had a problem back behind. There's Mike going off into the bus stop. And no grip Ford just goes to the safer barrier. Ironic that the Ford went out in the bus stop. That's where he'll have to go to get a ride now. Kevin, I'll be finishing my coffee after this. Max Gunther still leading this one. Also worth noting, this week we will have some new streams. Likely going to finish up Modern Warfare 2's remaster campaign Monday. And look for some new exciting stuff later in the week. Of course, there will be trucking as the Unicorn takes to the road. Make sure you're following us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and YouTube. We have a bunch of funny shorts out on YouTube and a lot more to come. Nicole, that's what she said. Creasel currently running in 8th place. Matthew Johnston trying to close in. Nicole having a great morning. I know for a fact Nicole has run the 24 hours multiple times. She knows this track very well, but the rain does throw a bit of a surprise into it, as Andrew Lau has had a problem. Andrew Lau in the Mercedes heads through the bus stop. Oh, the back end steps out when he hits the bump, and man, a hard hit into that outside wall. He gets it rolling just before Mike Marshall slips by. Andrew Lau now back into 7th, does not come to pit road, nor has Mike Marshall. Both cars heavily actually, let's look through the field and see who's not damaged at the moment. Max Gunther, who dominates rain races, currently in the lead, undamaged. Yannick Gunther currently in 2nd, also undamaged. Adam Barker in 3rd, did pick up some damage in that incident earlier with Mike Marshall, but has still managed to hold on to 3rd. Yannick Gunther also has the damage from earlier, as does Rudolph Gunther. But Rudolph's has been minor, just sliding through the grass. Simon Zierk had that earlier incident, but it looks like the car is okay. Avery Walker has had a few incidents and has had to go to pit road to get that car repaired. He did lose that rear wing earlier. As we saw a moment ago, Andrew Lau hard hit into the outside wall. That car does have a bit of front end damage. Nicole Creasall appears to be okay at the moment. Matthew Johnston had some left front damage earlier on, has been to pit road and gotten it fixed. Mike Marshall still out on track, heavily damaged front end. We saw last week at Fuji, Max Gunther pulled off the sweep in the rain. He won race 1 here this morning. Can he pull off the sweep again in the rain? They still have to make a pit stop and are within the range. Should be able to stop at any point now. The drivers were expecting the track to dry out a lot more than it has. With that fog, though, likely keeping a lot of that moisture in, and there was chances of light rains during this race. It was a very low chance, but enough humidity and moisture in the air to keep that track wet, which has benefited the Porsche this morning. Rudolph Gunther back and forth, still trying to close the gap on 3rd place. Adam Barker. Barker is now caught up to Yannick Gunther. Next Sunday morning, the GT3 NSS boys will be at Misano. I do believe that'd be our first broadcast ever from Misano. That is going to be exciting. Also, throughout the week this week, you could very well see me back behind the wheel as we prepare for the iRacing 2.4-hour MS race. Left side of Adam's Audi looks a little bit banged up and scratched up, and it hasn't slowed him down a bit as he stays right in the slipstream of the Porsche. The Audi will have the advantage on the straightaways as the Porsche does not have a lot of straight line speed. Adam tried to make a move coming out of the bus stop. We saw that in race 1. He tried to make that move, but man, it does not work, and he lost a lot of ground there. It is a bit tricky looking from Adam's in-car, trying to fight his way through the spray. Adam right to the bumper of Yannick Gunther as they come through turn 1. Oh, little bobble off the rumble strips. And Max Gunther out front has to be loving this. His lead now 17.5 seconds. He continues to pull away. While these two battle for second place, and Rudolf Gunther 7.3 seconds back. He was gaining some ground on Adam, but has been unable to get there. But as Adam and Yannick begin to battle, that could be Rudolph's opportunity. We haven't seen a Gunther 1-2-3 since last season. We almost saw it last week. We almost saw it in race 1. Adam may have the run now for second. He peaked low but couldn't get there. Here they go toward turn 1. The Audi has the run to the inside. Outbreaks him into 1, but it looks like no. Barker goes wide. Yannick crosses back over into second. Man, these two are just battling this thing out. It's going to heat up. Simon Zierk back in 5th. He is going to be the first driver to pit road. And it does look like the pit road entry is very, very wet. Could make things a little bit tricky. Matthew Johnston has moved back up into 8th place and is closing on Lau, but is almost a full lap behind. Nicole still holds on to 9th. Mike Marshall back in 10th in the heavily damaged Ford. Back to the battle for second. Yannick Gunther, Adam Barker. Yannick in the Porsche, Adam in the Hello Kitty Audi. And I do believe Adam forgot to get Hello Kitty some weapons on this new paint scheme. Yannick Gunther came to pit road as Rudolph Gunther also coming in. Adam Barker now to second. But Max Gunther's lead has grown to almost 20 seconds. Both of the other two Porsches already have completed their stops. Will Max come in this time? Everybody so far who is pitted came back out on wet tires. I think some of these drivers, in talking to them, they were expecting to be on dry tires by now, but as you see, the track is still extremely wet, which gives a huge benefit to Max. And Max heads to pit road. We saw him go by Simon a moment ago. Simon has had a problem. There's Simon Ziert coming through the bus stop. And, hits one of the bumps just wrong and slides it through the grass. He does get the car recovered and going again, but lost a lot of ground. Adam Barker has given up second. He is on pit road. Max Gunther on his way out. Here comes Yannick through the front straightaway. Max already back out. Barker on his way out. Yannick's going to possibly take second here. They come out almost how it started. They are back second and third. But now they have a new problem. Avery Walker is in fourth. Avery did pit on lap 4, but did not, for repairs. He is likely going to still need a stop for tires and fuel. Matthew Johnston also has not completed a fuel and tire stop yet. So Avery and Matthew, the only two that left to hit pit road. And Max's lead still holding at 19.7 seconds over Yannick. Adam still in third, Avery in fourth, Rudolph back in fifth. Rudolph, however, is closing the gap on Barker. The gap currently 6.3 seconds. Still a possibility for a Gunther 1-2-3 in the rain. Nicole Kriesel has had a problem. There she is coming through the bus stop. And that same bump we saw take out other drivers got Nicole this time. Gets it gathered up back up on the track, but lost a lot of time. Hey, good morning, JR. Manny, I have no idea what that means. Max Gunther still has the lead, now putting cars a lap down. The battle still on for second. Rudolph and Adams still battling it out. Avery back in fourth, still has to make a stop. But he is continuing to extend this run. Matthew Johnston is in to make his final stop. Adam Barker and Adam's going around. Adam is rolling again. Nicole is around as well. Wow, let's see what happened. Adam had the run into turn one, but went wide, and the back end just steps out as he battles for second. Bit of a glitch, he gets it rolling again. Nicole had a problem just ahead. Nicole just overshot her braking point. Looks like she was trying to let the leaders get by, and it went kind of haywire. That moves Avery Walker into third, still needing a pit stop. Barker in fourth and Rudolph in fifth. Now just 3.5 seconds behind Barker and closing. Avery Walker's early pit stop, he likely topped off on fuel and got that rear wing repaired. Does he have enough fuel to go the distance? And will those wet tires hold out that long? Adam Barker back in fourth, now 5 seconds behind Yannick, trying to close the gap. Simon Zierka's had a problem, as has Andrew Lau. Simon heads through the kink, just overshoots. Not the first person we have seen have that problem. He does get it recovered and rolling again. Andrew Lau headed back out toward the banking. Gets into that wet little dip there and goes around, quickly recovers, but he loses a bit of time as well. Adam is really, really pushing it now. You saw him slide it through the bus stop there. He is about 4.3 seconds behind Yannick, and Avery Walker is in for his stop. Avery will complete the cycle of pit stops. Meanwhile, Max Gunther, just out for another Sunday drive in the rain, has a 22-second lead over his brother Yannick. Adam in third, Rudolph in fourth, was closing the gap on Adam, but it appears Barker has found another gear, is less than 4 seconds behind Yannick and closing. Now we saw Adam run down Yannick in race 1. Can he do it again here in race 2? And this time, can he make the move to take second? Avery completed his pit stop and holds on to 5th. Simon back in 6th, Andrew Lau in 7th, Matthew Johnston in 8th. Mike Marshall in 9th, still driving a heavily damaged car. Nicole Creasholt still back in 10th. Nicole has run as high as 7th place today. She has been having a good run. Ten minutes left to go in race number 2. Adam Barker just set the fastest lap and is the first driver to go into the 154s and is now just over 2 seconds behind Yannick. But keep in mind, these wet tires do handle quite a bit differently, and they wear differently as well. Hopefully he is not using them up completely, trying to run down Yannick. Avery Walker in his triumphant return currently runs in 5th. Great to see Avery back out here. No surprise to see him back in the Mercedes. And not surprised to see him with a top 5 run. Andrew Lau has had another problem. There's Lau coming through the bus stop. And again, just smacks that safer barrier hard out of the bus stop. Looked like he was trying to cut that a little close. Nicole has had a problem. Nicole headed toward the second horseshoe. Just a little too much rear brake and a decent looking drift through the horseshoe. Max continues to extend his lead, now 25.5 seconds over Yannick. And Yannick is in trouble. Adam Barker is there. We saw Barker try and make the move into turn 1. Yannick was able to cross back over and reclaim second place. Where will Adam try and make the attack this time? Adam does have the straight line speed advantage over the Porsche. But that Porsche definitely has a huge handling advantage here today. Especially due to that rear engine being right over the rear wheels, helping the cars just not step out under power. Adam swinging wide into 1. He's going to try and make it on the outside. Adam goes a little too wide. Yannick holding on to second place for the moment. And Manny got his chicken hat on. Max Gunther loves knowing they're battling back behind. His lead continues to grow over his brother. Rudolf Gunther 8.25 seconds back in 4th. Behind Adam, his only chance of getting back up there is Barker having another late race problem. Adam's been thinking about this since the end of race 1, how to make that move. He said in his interview he needed one more lap. Now he's got several. But Yannick has been almost mistake-free this morning. One early incident, that was it. Track does appear to be drying out. The spray seems to have lightened up. And here we go as Adam makes a move to the outside on the horseshoe, sets himself up for the inside out to the banking, and he has got it. Barker to second. But he is 27.25 seconds out of the lead. And Yannick still lurking in third. Rudolph 9 seconds back in fourth. And he may be in trouble. Avery Walker just 18 seconds behind. Adam has a ton of speed. He has already pulled a 1 second gap on Yannick as Mike Marshall has had a problem. He is going to pit road. Mike had gotten that Ford repaired on pit road. He heads off into the boat. Oh, got the angle wrong on entry. Got it gathered up for a moment. And there is Mike Marshall headed off into turn 1. On the power back end, snaps into the inside wall. A rough morning for Mike. That Ford just does not like the rain. Mike did tell me earlier this week he is bound and determined to get that Ford onto a podium before the end of the season. Manny, they're all going a little bit fast. Still looking at two Gunthers on the podium today. Once again with Max in the lead and Yannick currently in third. But what a comeback for Adam Barker, who had problems earlier on. Has had multiple issues going wide through turn 1, but has managed to recover that car. Avery Walker still trying to close the gap on Rudolph Gunther. Simon Zierk back in 6th with Lau in 7th. Max Gunther heading toward the bus stop. One lap car just ahead should not be a big issue. Nicole, move up the track to let him by. And it's looking like Max Gunther will sweep again in the rain. Max Gunther will do it 2 weeks in a row, sweeping in the rain. Today, he sweeps the Daytona. Adam Barker gonna come home in 2nd, and Yannick Gunther will finish 3rd. Team Gunther definitely looking at a dominant season so far. Let's see if we can get a word with our top 3, starting with Yannick. Yannick, another podium this morning. You guys just getting it done in the rain.
Yeah, thank you. It was a lot of fun. But congrats to Max. He was out of this world. He was ridiculously fast.
So how much are you going to be bribing to have rain in every race this season?
From now on, I hope we have rain everywhere, and I will look what we can do as Team Gunther to make sure that that happens.
Well, Team Gunther definitely extremely strong. All 3 drivers in the top 5 in both races. You've got to be happy about that.
Extremely happy. Yeah, I'm very, very glad that the season starts strong for us.
Well, man, a great job. Another great podium. Congratulations.
Thank you, Doug. Thank you.
Adam Barker coming home in second. Adam, you said after race 1 you needed one more lap. You ran Yannick down and had the laps you needed to get to second.
Yeah, yeah. Had a couple of goes at trying to get past Yannick. The wet track really messing up the alternate line, so it was something. It was a little bit difficult trying to get round, especially with the Audi and the Porsche being so close on top speed. But persistent and managed to get through.
You did have some problems early on, but man, you're overcoming that to come back in second was really impressive.
Yeah, it was really really interesting start. I missed the start of the race, so I had to start from the pits, which is obviously not ideal. But I think maybe I missed some of the midfield action that I might have been involved in, so it might have been a bit of a blessing in disguise.
I honestly thought the starting from pit road was a strategy move.
No, I just didn't have enough fuel, and then everyone else was on the grid, so I missed the start.
Well, man, a great job. It obviously works out. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And finally, our winner, Max Gunther. Max, 2 weeks in a row. It's been raining 2 weeks in a row. You've swept both races.
Yeah. Great race. It was yeah, it was great. It was a bit boring in the end, but yeah. It was fun.
I have to say, Team Gunther really dominating it in the rain. It's been just awesome.
Yeah, it is. I hope it will rain a lot more throughout the season, because it really suits me.
It definitely does. And, man, the Porsche definitely seems to have it dialed in.
Yeah, in the rain, definitely.
Well, man, great job. 2 weeks in a row, sweeping both races. You're on a roll.
Thank you, Doug. Thank you.
Max Gunther wins again, 2 in a row. It has been a dominant start to the season for Team Gunther. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget, tonight we will be back at 7:30 Eastern with the BRR Cup Series. Hope everybody had as much fun as we did, guys. Have a great day, everyone.